fun to be here at the Hummingbird Cafe, no? I always think of the Hummingbird Bakery, which is that really wonderful bakery where they have like a cookbook in England.
Actually,
and
te iba a
the cakes
decir,
are the most delicious cakes you've ever
I
eaten.
was looking up online y me salió ese sitio y pensé, esto no es.
No, but it's called like that. So it gives you an idea. And actually, I came the other day. I've been here a few times, yeah. And the cakes are really delicious. I mean, I had one. I was telling Lena about it with raspberry. Era como crumble. It was like a crumble. But you know what I like? That it's got very little sugar. Or whatever sweetener that you use is not like sugar
We use cane sugar, or
why.
organic cane sugar or coconut sugar.
That's
so
why
it's
it was
more.
delicious.
It's more light.
Yeah, you can really tell, and I loved it. So, well, thank you very much for joining us, Kaylin and Lena and Dav.
Pleasure.
We're all here. Street
I don't
Talk,
have a choice, man.
episode 9. It's incredible. It's already the 9th one this year. These guys are doing something very cool. I should talk to the camera. They have a group, a business called Truly Conscious. And it's all about helping other people. And this is something so interesting. And I always like to talk about it, especially we've talked about mental health before many, many times. We both suffer from mental health issues. And it's good to get the story out. So they're going to tell you what they do. But they do, whatever they do it with animals. Some of it is with animals, with horses, and with two beautiful huskies that I've met, actually. So yeah, tell us more. Kaylin, Truly Conscious, how did it start?
Well, this started even individually many years ago, you can say. Yo por mi lado and ella por su lado, no? And Truly Conscious came later on when we met and we formed part together as a group, no? As a couple.
Yeah.
But I think it started in my half, in my own personal journey, no? In my own journey within mental health, no? And
well, we saw your Jib talk, which is where I met you.
yeah, true.
And we both did one, and we were waiting there. He'd done his, and I was about to do mine, and he was supporting everybody who was coming out next. And there I was thinking, I haven't actually prepared very much, and I don't know whether I should. And
that
I
was a
asked
journey.
you.
That was really. It was.
That was you were telling
experience.
me that you're not used to that kind of thing, and that
No.
it was a huge thing for you to put yourself out there.
Yeah. Because like I can speak hours if I have one individually with someone, no, but going up in a place like that, speaking to a large crowd, it was stepping out of my comfort zone, no, and the feedback I've got from it, I mean, people which I've never known in my life, and then, no, do it at the GBC, you know, and I'm like, he said, that thing you said has helped me, and I'm like, oh, that's other thing, and I'm like, wow, I mean, like, I didn't go with those intentions, I just went to speak my truth, and just put it out there, and the feedback I've got has been very positive, no? Okay.
Proud of you.
A mí me pasó when I did, when she interviewed me before we did the Street Talk and I spoke about my stuff. And then all of a sudden I had all these private messages in social media and thank you, wow, I mean.
It just goes to show that there are so many people suffering.
Yeah, and
there are.
quiet,
In Jib, you know, and it's always been like a bit of a stigma because Jib is a small place, you don't want to. Say, well, yeah, I have a problem, but actually it's what you need to do because
I think sometimes as well lo que pasa es que you don't know you have a problem. You think that's who you are.
I agree.
Or it's the way you've always been. Recently I've been speaking to someone because I'm starting to think I might have ADHD. Vale? Entonces, I've been I was diagnosed many years ago with generalized anxiety disorder. Con que I don't have anxiety specifically due to a situation. I will just search for things, not consciously, but I will fixate y todo eso. Y ahora, lately, it's becoming to a point where I'm thinking the thoughts are so constant and everything is so constant y me cuesta tanto trabajo and I have so much brain fog and all that I'm starting to think that maybe not that I was misdiagnosed, pero que a lo mejor I should be reassessed.
Sí.
Y todo eso. Y entonces, you think, I never would have thought, por ejemplo, con personas más mayores, tú le dices que tú eres muy... No, yo siempre soy así, yo soy muy nerviosa. Yo soy muy activa.
Sí.
And did you just think that that's the way that
The
you are?
coping mechanisms, the way they used to cope back then, and what it's just pushing on, just carry on and being on the go all the time, speed rushing, no? And in what I teach is mindfulness. We go to many different factors of how anxiety and depression and mostly everything stems from trauma, no? And people think trauma is just maybe a traumatic thing, no? Someone's gone to war or a firefighter. No, you can start from from before you actually even given birth. I mean, if your mom was stressed while she was pregnant of you, it means that you as an adult, you have a lower vagal tone, which is your vagus nerve is damaged. So you are more prone to stress, anxiety, depression, and PTSD as an adult. Ito inasali your mundo, no? And then of course, you encounter life, you have relationships, you have family members passing away, accidents, traumas, and that's just a build on to the damaged nervous system that's already there. I mean, so all these labels which are given nowadays, okay, I mean, they're there. I mean, it guides people to certain degrees, but I shouldn't get fixate on them. I mean, like for me, it's like if you change your lifestyle, if you change your diet, you change your job, you're not happy, I mean, the food you eat. And then, of course, if you can dive into going to understand about the body works and how the nervous system works, how you have one that activates your rest and digest, which is a parasympathetic, and you've got the other one that's a fight or flight, which is a stress response. Most of the people which have anxious or anxiety, depression are stuck on fight or flight.
All my life.
So they basically, all the body's releasing cortisol, adrenaline.
I was talking about that the other day, the whole cortisol thing. My husband didn't know what cortisol was. So a lot of people don't know what cortisol is and how you get rid of it and how you can get rid of it yourself.
Well, the thing is that you shouldn't get rid of it.
You cannot get rid of it.
Okay,
It's to who you are.
We need stress. We need cortisol. I mean, if to wake up in the morning, you need cortisol.
Manage it is the better word. Not
See, but the thing is that, like, if you have no cortisol and no stress, then you are inactive. You're bored. You need stress to wake you up in the morning. You need to have goals. I mean, you have to find the peak performance where stress is working in your favor. Yeah. If you overproduce cortisol, then you're going into fatigue, into stress, anxiety, and then eventually you're going to end up in burnout. So it's finding what balance where you produce enough cortisol, but you're not burning out. I mean, it's finding
the excessive cortisol spikes.
Exactly.
So you need a balance between both.
Yeah.
Lena, I wanted to bring you in. How did you get? So obviously you're going out with Kaylin, and you've got this business. How did you start? Because I don't know much about your background.
No, I'm the secret one. I'm the one backstage with the powers, the magic.
Sneaky.
Yeah. I started when I was 4 with, animals. My mom took me riding. I was drawing horses. I always had some form of mental issue because my mom noticed I didn't start speaking till I was 6. And I couldn't interact with people. It was very difficult for me, especially as I couldn't verbally speak. So I had a lot of issues growing up with that sense of not able to verbally express myself and understand what was going on, especially at a young age. And my mum took me horse riding since I was little. And I went to this place which showed you how to communicate with horses and dogs. It was a finca in Spain, Casares, and I ended up staying there for 7 years. And they taught me everything about communication, bonding, understanding yourself, giving them respect and an opportunity to say yes or no to your actions.
And you were very, very young to understand what was happening to you. How did you deal with that?
It was hard. To be honest, I didn't deal with it at all. I had the animals that helped me out mostly. I just kind of was all over the place. They would classify me as someone who had a very serious case of depression and anxiety.
And I mean, from a very young age, it shows that it's not, in that reason, though it's not something that happened to, what I mean was there was no particular reason for it. No. You were just that way.
It was just,
it's a chemical thing.
My mom worked 3 jobs. So she tried her best, and she has 3 kids, and the 3 kids were also my brothers were going through a hard time too, we're all going through a hard time. Yeah. So I was raised by my grandmother, who also, it was just, it's just family, Complicated. And also, as a woman, I got my period at 8 years old. Wow. So I was already going through a lot, and at the age of 12, I got my first horse, but I also tried to commit suicide. And the only reason I didn't was because my horse physically stopped me from doing it.
Wow.
And that's the only reason why I'm here.
I can't even speak.
That's why you don't hear me much, because I just let everything else talk for it. Because you don't need words to express how you feel, the energy around you. It's just the silence of just being here and being the support and power that you can actually be speaks for itself. Because you come into a room quiet, you yourself, you can feel if someone's angry, sad, happy, and for me, that's how I always dealt with everything, and that's what my animals taught me, and that's what I came here to do, to help people learn that you don't need to be loud to be heard. You just need to find who you are and love yourself and listen to yourself, and you'll always have that support. So yeah, I had a hard start, but I would rather not have it any other way. And I know that people have it worse than me and people have it better than me, but it's a beautiful thing to express with life, you know, and yeah. It's hard.
No? How do you feel?
Okay, for me, there's a lot that resonates.
And how do you help people? I mean, how, having been through what you've been through, which is quite incredible, how are you helping people?
I think it's once you be able to master and regulate your own emotions and find your own faults and find your own triggers, regulate them, identify how you're reacting to other things, and once you overcome that, you'll be in a position of groundness and stillness and openness with compassionate and love to assist someone, because you can now see yourself where you were in that time in them. So it's like I see a person and I see all my things I've already gone through
in your life,
in my life. And you always say, no, I say when it comes as therapists, as healers, we all have medicine. So the right people that need your medicine will come at the right time and right place for you. If that person is not meant to cross your path, is not meant to cross your path because maybe he has another experience, or maybe you have overcome something similar to them. So that person will come to your path, no? And
tell me, while you've been putting yourselves out there here in Jib, and people have obviously heard your Jib talk, and you've been on TV as well, and different things. Have you had a big reaction? Have you had people?
Yeah.
How bad is the situation in Jib?
It is quite bad.
Yeah.
It is like I mentioned in the Jib talks, when I mentioned in the City Pulse with Kevin, that I personally rather learn meditation than have medication, no? And I've had many people come to me, wow, Kaelan, what you said is true, no? And something that I'm very against is in Jib is that, which I want to create now with this new wellness center, Body and Mind, that we're opening in Devil's Tower Road, is a bridge for people who don't want medication and try and form some connection with the government where people that don't want medication don't get thrown in the dark.
So they can have a holistic option.
Yeah, so they can come to us, they say, look...
And as part of the government and not where people have to pay for it?
It's going to be very hard. I think Gibraltar is not ready for that yet.
At least a guidance, you know, like I personally, what I would say that the situation, I wouldn't say bad, but there isn't enough guidance and support for people to you know, we after this
we've had before.
We've seen so many people come because then they see us and they see, oh, they can guide me. You know, it's not the fact that we're here to teach people and tell you what to do. No, you come to us and you're going to teach yourself.
Yeah.
We're only here just to be an example and to guide you.
We're not doing anything
the correct way.
Send them in the right direction. I expect, and that's why you always have to speak your truth, because your truth will help someone else. No, to say, I like to empower my clients in the sense that I give you tools, but don't depend on me. I mean, you empower yourself. You have to put the work. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to wake up every morning, do all the work, and that's what people don't like. No, they want a quick fix.
No, exactly. And I'm like working since we were kids. I mean, I know Kaelan's story, you know, and myself. I've been physically working jobs and physically working with myself since I was at least 10 years old. You know.
Yeah.
And
what is your story?
My story, I had complex PTSD.
What do you mean? Oh, post-traumatic stress disorder.
So
From
it's
something that happened to you.
well, it's complex means number of traumas throughout my life. So
Right.
it's like I said childhood, relationships, family members passing away, accidents, and then fortunately, you can say part of the job, I had to see things that not everyone gets to see. So there were many things that happened in my
Because
life.
you were a fireman before.
A firefighter, yeah.
A firefighter.
Yeah. So I was there for 5 years. Before that, I was a prison officer. I mean, I was also in the army. I was also a postman. And yeah, I've experienced many things.
Okay.
All the jobs
Police
are...
officer, firefighter,
Bueno,
prison officer. Yeah.
Bueno, police officer was there in admin.
Sorry, police officer no, ¿qué dijiste?
But I was there also for
No,
a
pero
while.
dijiste...
A firefighting, prison officer.
Prison.
Y uno más.
Postman.
No.
And then soldado.
Soldado.
Bueno, era TA.
I had a family member who went to train y fue a Catterick y se tuvo que venir para atrás
Sí.
because his hair was falling out.
Sí. Yo estuve en Brecon Beacons, y estuve en Folkestone, que es los Rangers. Brecon Beacons donde va el SAS, donde van most of our regiment to train, and it's not easy. I mean, you get exposed to temperatures and low temperatures, and yes, things that happen. I mean, I'm grateful for every chapter because it's made me who I am today, you know, and now be able to be as a manager running a body and mind. I mean, with a background, of course, the holistic health that I bring into place.
Okay.
So-
I'm a little bit... Today was not the day for me to do this.
I could feel it.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe it was.
But maybe
There's a
it's
reason.
still for
No,
Maybe.
there is a reason.
There's a reason.
Pero it's
No,
not
but
the
if
day because it's not the day that I can...
Express.
Sí. Hoy no es el día para eso, pero there's so much that I want to say porque it's so frustrating and the struggle is so massive y el nivel que está ahí ustedes para mí es como
It's just so incredible that you've both been at the same point in your lives, different times, but you've kind of, I can't believe you're
Merged.
holding this, but you've done like that. You've done like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
And-
both done our own work
and you
individually,
both-
and then we've come together to. I
Yeah.
always say, that now I feel more in tune in a more purposeful direction.
Yeah.
My intentions are grounded, and I know it's not that I know my path because I don't know what's going to come tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I wake up every morning with a direction of what I want to serve or what I want to give, and now in his home,
Yeah.
it's
It's
touching.
interesting because it's like we were growing at the same time, even though we're different age, but we were passing through the same experiences
Yeah.
together.
differently.
But at the same time. But
Yeah.
it's like if I wouldn't have met him, I don't think I would have gone exactly the same route. Obviously, I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
So really, from us uniting, we've really expanded, and really, for me especially, like I never imagined myself being in the situation I am now, being a teacher for kids,
Yeah.
helping people, like
I think we've
to
both
the extent
come
that
to
I
a
am.
degree where we've needed each other to grow that more in
to grow,
consciousness.
that's
you know?
right.
And
not to push each other.
sí, porque dice que the only way to grow in consciousness, that's why many people don't like relationships or is in a relationship because it's a mirror, no? We're both, the more conscious you are, the more aware you are, you're mirroring back all the unconscious parts of yourself.
Sí,
Porque
so
that's
it's
when
not
you're...
all lovey-dovey.
No, of course. I mean, like,
No.
it's all about reflecting and being open and communicating with compassion. I mean, and all.
And I suppose as well, it's all about complementing as well. Lo que le falta a tu pareja es lo que tú tratas de aportar o de ser encouraging.
Sí,
Because sometimes we do need that little bit of a
Sí.
push and
Sí.
that little bit of encouragement.
Yeah.
So,
the power of like healing, no, like if I go to the roots, no, of trauma, is everyone wants to be seen, heard, and understood, no. Entonces, if at home you never be seen or understood or validated, then you create a persona or personality to get that need out in the world. Entonces, it gets to a point that as much as you do it, you get tired, you burn out because it's not really who you are. No, you're trying to create
que
one
cansa.
that... Sí, claro. Esta persona que wants to be a label or wants money or wants to look a certain way. And it's not really you. Entonces, the
It's
way
like
of
having
healing...
a mask on and you're
Yeah.
changing.
The healing is finding the point where you accept yourself, where you see yourself, you validate yourself. Entonces, you're independent now. You don't have that need, no? Entonces, I don't need her for a certain reason, no? And she doesn't need me. Of course, like I said, we exchange and we now let go because we're comfortable together and there's certain things that she does better than me and I do better and we let go, no? But really, if you want to be able to be in a relationship for the right reasons, you need to find your independence, no? And you have the same, you have your feminine energy, you have your masculine energy. Entonces, The masculine is more analytical, more orientated in the future, building goals, no, dreams, and the female is more about self-love. And say, if a man learns about self-love, it doesn't need a woman to show her self-love. And la mujer está más encoded with self-love, with the feminine of it, no, which is more closer to her heart, no, feelings. El hombre quizá no. Entonces, if you can learn about the feminine, give yourself boundaries, how to say no, step up for yourself, open your throat chakra, speak your truth. That's how you heal yourself. And the thing is, like nowadays, women, because of the over excessive, say, masculinity energy that has been for many, many years, now women have stepped up, but I think they're going too much.
Too much, I agree.
Now there's a point, but I think it's okay.
I 100% agree.
But I think it's okay because they've been so suppressed for many years.
Sí, pero
and now they have to speak up until then they stop and then they come back to balance.
Yeah. Now they need to come
Now it's
back.
gonna drop back
I
down.
agree.
Okay, now once they can find that balance where they don't need a man to speak the truth or step up, no? And
It's funny that you mentioned the throat chakras because of all the some different holistic therapies that I've had. It always comes back to the same thing. Siempre me dicen, what aren't you saying?
That's all my
Every
therapists used to
single
say
time.
that when I was younger.
Pero,
What do you mean?
pero tú
Speaking your
no eres
truth.
una persona
They're
vocal.
not
Yeah.
Pero yo sí.
No, we're not.
So I don't understand.
It's something that is deeply compressed in the back of your
Siempre.
mind that you can't.
Siempre, what aren't you saying? Tiene aquí, tiene un chord, tiene un chord,
pocket.
tiene ahí. And I couldn't be any more vocal. Al revés. I had to stop being so vocal because it was too much and it came from a place of insecurity and negativity. Como que yo era como... Blah.
Sí.
Y obviously I had to stop. Que that's another thing that you said, that it's... Que cansa... It's tiring to be what you're not.
Yeah.
But the healing... que cansa.
Sí, claro.
Y esa es una cosa that
It's a process of unlearning.
that's the reminder. No venga, no haga eso. No venga, that's not right. Venga, no. Entonces, that's what I think is what stops a lot of people as well. Like, it's too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea is moving from reacting and moving to more responsive. No, and from that itself, you're now moving into a parasympathetic activation, or your body is healing on its own. Okay, you're more in tune, more controlled. You're not reactive. You're not spilling. No, you don't have much energy leaks, and there's not many thoughts that you're paying attention to that are actually causing you more stress. No, so it's all about observing your thoughts, observing your emotions, not being attached to it, not identifying with it. No, so it's. Yo siempre lo digo, the best way you can see it for everyone is like, you imagine that you're always the blue sky. And you're always present, you're always blue. The sky is always there, but your thoughts, emotions, and sensations are your clouds. So a veces va a tener white clouds, sometimes you're going to have gray clouds, and you have black clouds. But if you want to keep the white clouds all the time, they end up being black. But the more you can become the observer, allow whatever thought to come and go, you're allowing space for them. Don't say if they come, you be with them, but they go. But if you want to push away black clouds, where you resist, persist, no, or whatever, no, we persist, no, that, so the more you don't want, the more it comes, no? Entonces, the more you allow it, you're allowing space to be there, so the way se va. I mean, like it's
It's como los panic attacks.
yeah, exactly.
The best thing that I was ever taught is that if you're having one, have it.
Accept
Don't
it.
try and stop it.
Yeah.
No.
And la verdad que that was
The only way is
invaluable.
through.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's right.
I want to know about the animals because it's really a big part of what you do. No?
Yeah.
And it's one of the most unique. So from what I was going now, it's gonna attack me.
How do they? I mean, you said dogs and horses because those are the ones that you were.
Those are the ones I
put in
work
your
with.
way when you were feeling.
Yeah, I used to have a
vulnerable.
cat too, but it's a bit different.
And can anybody do it with any animal?
Me encanta el energy de sí, I want to help you, pero hasta donde yo quiero.
quiera.
See, yeah,
But I
because
love that.
See,
There are-
space, it gives you space.
you
no,
can-
you know why? Sorry,
No,
you know
no,
why?
no.
Because it's the whole thing of you're not giving me unconditional love. You're making me work for it.
Right.
El perro es como ya está okay, no, you love me ya.
Sí.
Y el gato es como
Va clingy.
es como plan I love you when I want to, ¿vale? Y me gusta mucho más,
Sí.
mucho más, pero ya no, I miss it. I don't have it
I
anymore.
know it's a hard thing. I know because I have too many animals and I've had animals before, and it's a hard thing because even though, especially a cat, they have their distance of how they want to love you, it's still a love that can't be compared to anything else. So because animals don't have thoughts.
Es
So
que impossible to explain.
I know.
Sí.
And you can't, even though you can't explain it, even if you were to try, you don't know it until it happens.
It happens.
Porque this is my first pet que se ha ido y no sé cómo explicarlo.
I know.
No, pues es que no tenés ni que explicarlo tampoco. It's something
No,
you
pero
stay
you know,
with yourself and...
pero you know how you want to try and
It's like part of it was part of your heart, part of your soul.
yes.
Sí.
And
An
it's,
extension to you.
yeah.
¿no? Es como un brazo. como
animals
tu
are extension of our beings, especially usually what happens is when people obtain an animal, it's a sole purpose is that they usually pick their person because they're an extension of who they are as a being. Whether they're here for a moment or for longer, some come and go to teach you a lesson about yourself and about your self-loving, because animals don't have thoughts. They are just being in this moment and they need to do what they need to do, and then they go over the hurdle when they need to.
Pero sí tienen, I would say, an elevated sense of empathy.
Sí.
Of course,
Sixth
yes.
sense
Pero
and
mucho
todo,
más que nosotros,
sí, sí.
by far.
100%.
The majority of all animals have a wider range of heart frequency. So a cat can, or a dog, or any other animal can feel your heart frequency from all the way down the road.
Okay.
Because of their sixth sense. And animals, because of their sixth sense, can see things that we don't. Which colors, energies, because we are vibrations. Our
And they
cells
pick
are
that
vibrating,
up.
and they pick it up.
Okay, and how do you treat somebody with your dogs, for example? Because you use your two beautiful huskies, no?
Yeah, so Logie and Coffee. So for me, because I've experienced and I've worked in this area for many years, especially mostly with horses. I've delved into dogs since I got Logie when he was only a week old, and I bottle fed him. He taught me a lot. He taught me a lot about my anger. I had so much anger to myself and to others for not understanding me, and he was the one who understood me, and I couldn't take it. I'd get so angry that he understood
With
me.
the dog?
Yeah. Because
Why? Really?
because he would understand me, and I didn't know how to
And how do you
process
know
it.
he could understand you?
Because even if I would shout or I would say something nasty, or if I would just start throwing, because I would get so, I used to live on myself, and I would live a lot to myself. No, I wouldn't have a lot of people around, but with my mom or anyone, I would lash out because I was really I didn't know how to express, or I'd get really frustrated. And Logie would just sit there and watch, and he would come and hug me, and he'd come and kiss me. And I didn't know what to do.
Es como, why aren't you rejecting me if I'm being so
Yeah.
nasty to you? Why are you still here?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And eventually, when I
How
started,
perceptive, no?
yeah. And it was the same with the horse.
No es tanto how perceptive, sino yo lo estoy mirando más de yo angle.
Yeah, of course.
Who didn't do that for you?
Sí.
Yeah. No, of course. And eventually, because I've been working with horses since I was professionally since I was 12, since I got my first horse. And they also taught me a lot about my anger and my issues. And I started to calm down, and I realized, Imra, I'm watching these animals, I'm watching my dog, I'm watching my horse, and they're showing me exactly how I need to be. And they're showing me how, they're telling me this, they're speaking. I could actually physically start to hear them talk to me and say, Lena, it's okay. Look, we're here. What's going to happen? Nothing's going to happen. We love you. You love yourself. Just enjoy the moment. There's nothing else to worry about. And eventually I thought, well, okay, I'm going to do some more courses on this. I'm going to learn some more. And then I thought, okay, look, let's do courses together. And I started teaching him. I started training. I did dog training. I started doing it with my horse, Phoenix. And eventually, I started doing my yoga. I started doing what you call Reiki. I started doing more mindfulness and breath work with the horses, because that also connected to when you do natural horsemanship, you have to learn how to breathe, how to move your body, how to be aware of your body. And it's the same with the dogs, being aware of yourself. And I did all these courses, and I clicked. I'm like, oh my God, I've been doing this all along, and I've felt the struggle, and I've seen the changes, but not until I actually eventually just click. And it's like, oh.
How far do you think you've come?
I would say, like, if the world was flat but up, I would have jumped from, all the way to the top, all the way to the other side of the world.
Yeah, because sometimes
I don't even have the word for
when
it.
you're open to this new journey of self-love, self-healing, it's like I believe in something big as helping you push, I call it the universe or God or whatever your belief is,
Yeah.
but I do believe there's something energetically that's responding to how believe and and if you're open to it, you're going to be pushed to it now. So let's test you, how
You're
open
gonna
you are,
get
how
thrown
much
off
you
the
want
cliff.
this change, and I think at the right time, right place, people will come into your life to answer your life questions, to help you go over the bridge to the next chapter in your life. And sometimes those chapters go very fast,
It's happened to me. And my gym talk, I spoke about why I didn't work at GBC, which a lot of people ask me, why don't you work at GBC? So I explained it, and this now has given me, doing the podcast, so much joy. The way we met was through GBC. Actually, I always said it, they've done me a huge favor. We met because, it's just silly to say, but I'll say it.
Because I got angry.
Dav got angry at the way I was being treated on TV in a program where I was putting my point across, and 3 other people were hammering me.
Okay.
Hammering me, and she felt it was a little bit
It was one person in
unfair.
particular que le habló muy malamente. Y yo estaba en mi casa. Y yo, she's
I
under
didn't know
the
her
television.
at
We didn't
all.
know each other at all. Pero yo, como hablo con quien sea,
Sí.
mi marido siempre dice, tú estás amiga de una planta, because I've
Sí,
just
sí,
talked
he's
to anyone.
great with that.
Yo sé what.
Entonces, we happened to coincide at a wedding. Y yo estaba en el toilet.
No, we
Bueno,
went.
you
Yes,
know.
exactly right.
Yo fui al toilet, pues yo estaba de 8 meses, 9 meses con que fui al toilet, and I literally went, como yo soy, I literally went, hay que ver lo que te dijeron en GBC. And that was it.
Yeah, and then the first talk I did, then I started with, for one reason or another, with On the Sofa with Rouge. And the first talk I did about mental health was Davinia, which literally opened up a can of worms in a good way.
You two
Because
were meant to
Davinia was so open. This is why I asked her to come on, because she was so open, and I asked her, do you mind talking about your mental health and the things you've been through for various reasons, traumas in her life, whatever. She was so open that I think other people, everybody tapped in.
Pero ¿te acuerdas when you were going to release it?
Really difficult.
The day I went home.
Yeah.
Fatal.
Yeah.
Fatal.
It's hard to speak
No,
about.
but it's not because I'll speak about it, but it was because it was now recorded and accessible. No es lo mismo que yo vaya por la calle y te cuente algo y después alguien me diga y I can have the luxury of saying, bueno.
That's okay, you're putting part of yourself that was in the dark out in the light.
Of course.
Like what we had a conversation before.
Aparte que una parte muy importante de esto era de que it wasn't just my experience, because it involved family as well.
Yeah.
Y I felt a little bit, digo, I don't want to
I understand
annoy
you.
anyone.
Sí, no,
I don't want to hurt anyone, because that's not my intention. Pero claro, todo el mundo no piensa como
Igual,
tú, ni está al nivel que tú estás.
100%,
No, of
I get
course.
you.
That's why.
And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Do you want to know when it's come out? No, I don't want to know. Do you want to hear it? No, I don't want to hear it.
It was meant to be, because from that we've started the street talk, which is also so many people stop me now and say, really enjoy it. We've had this last one that we put out with the 2 Spanish ladies. We've had something like 300 or something downloads in a week that I've had it. I mean, downloads, not that doesn't include streaming. I mean, it's one of the biggest ones we've done, and it's going up the whole time. So I'm,
It's the purpose of life is how can you be more and how can you express more of yourself. And why confine yourself and work in places and really you can't feel yourself. No?
Financially, some people can't do it.
No.
This is the thing. I would love to be able to just do this.
Yeah.
Because it's what I love, but I financially I can't. One day, hopefully, I will.
For now,
Same with you. I suppose you have to do your.
Well, I think it's all part of the process. No, I always see that sometimes you have to work in places not for what you're gonna earn, but what you're gonna learn. No, and I see in that light. No, all my chapters and all the jobs I've worked is getting closer to the grand thing I want to create.
Did you do it? The training, was it in conjunction whilst you were working?
Which training?
Hasta el punto que he llegado ahora.
Well, I had no other choice in my chapter to do those for myself first. no, to just kind of understand what I was going through more than anything, no. And with time, I realized, okay, I have all these tools. Why not then qualify now to be able to be a teacher for it, no? Entonces,
Because that's the struggle that I have, and I think I'm going to say it because I think that it applies to a lot of people, at least a lot of people that I know who contact me and ask me, cuando ya estamos metidos en el rat race y tenemos los responsibilities de los niños y la cosa, how do you get into tackling all these things and loving yourself and finding all these things when you don't have time to breathe?
it's the way I teach it is, don't think that you have to go on meditation, mindfulness, all the things. If you learn how to, what I teach in my program is learning how to embody mindfulness and meditation on the go. So make it your life. Don't say we start with learning about what are thoughts, what are emotions, how to observe your thoughts and identify with your thoughts. And so we have tools that you can carry in your pocket. Don't say when you're in a position, when you're walking from your house to work, you can introduce mindfulness there. And you can allow whatever triggers you in the moment to observe it without judgment, to accept it, to give it more love. And the more you can be within your body, because when trauma happens, the way we cope with it is by leaving the body and just being more in your mind. Because the more you can bring your awareness back to your body, back to your breath, back to your emotions, back to your senses, that you are redirecting your concentration and focus now. You're not over there and focusing everything in the outside, so the energy is leaking everywhere. So the more you can connect back to your breath, more to your body, it's basically your strengthening your focus. So you're now returning that energy that's over there, putting it into your body, and that's your body is now healing because it has more energy within yourself.
Everything that you say makes sense. No, yo voy por la calle y yo voy con mi mente a 100 por hora y panting.
You're hyperventilating, you're breathing through your mouth.
I'm panting the entire time, I'm a mouth breather y así no es como voy. Entonces,
but you're not a mouth breather, is what, okay, now in that situation you are, but it's what you've learned and what you've been doing for many years. Does that mean that you change your way now is not, that's right, you're not who you are, it's what you're trained to be.
No, it's not who I am, it's who I've become.
Who you become, exactly.
Lo que pasa es que what I struggle is, how do I get out?
Yeah.
And that's what I can't do.
And something which I teach is using cues outside yourself. Don't say you hear a baby crying, you hear a dog barking, or you hear the ambulance, or you hear the fire brigade. Use those, or large bang, anything that gets your attention. Use that as a way to return back to your body. Don't say when you're out and about, escucha el perro, I'm gonna go back to my breath.
It's bringing it in.
Back, yeah? So now, okay, I'm gonna, and then you say, that give yourself as a self-love tool. Now say, okay, ask yourself, Kaylan, ¿cómo te sientes? Estoy corriendo mucho, estoy respirando por la boca, estoy dando hunch forward, I'm gonna slow my pace.
Eventually
I'm
it
gonna
gets
breathe
easier.
in. So it's all about
Sí,
going
por ejemplo.
back and reminding yourself to go back to yourself, go back to your emotions. And the deep down is all about asking yourself what you need. Every time, every moment you have, what do I need? What do I need? Do I need to drink some water? Do I need to rest? Do I need to take some time off? So it's finding a rapport and befriending yourself and try and return back to feel safety within. No, it's a process. It's not easy, but it's not impossible. No, and if you see the word emotion, it means energy in motion. So the way your motion would dictate your emotion. So if you're moving fast, you're hyperventilating, and then you'll be angry, you'll be anxious. But if you slow your pace, you do things slowly, you be conscious of the things, you remember what things you're doing también, porque no está en tu mente tanto. And now it's all about slowing that pace. So in your breath, taking less breaths per minute and connecting to your parasympathetic, and all that is releasing endorphins, serotonin, oxytocin.
So even in the simple fact, if you're with your kids, just look at your kids.
Be mindful and be with them.
And just watch them. Watch what they're doing. And instead of thinking about what you're going to do later, what you're going to do there, or what they're doing, just watch them, see what they're doing. And just enjoy that moment, even just for a second. Or you're going to pour a glass of water and just watch how the orange juice or water pours into glass. I do it when I wash the dishes. I get the soap and I smell it, and then I feel the bubbles in the scrub. I scratch my hands and it feels nice. I get the plates, and then sometimes I touch food and I'm like, oh, but it's nice to feel the sensations. It makes it more alive.
Yeah.
And then you kind of bring yourself more into your body. The thing is that we're not in our body enough. We're here. So it's just taking those moments to view things, view your animal, view a photo, view your kids, look at your friend, and just look at her face, look at the details of just every little thing, and that just really brings you back to, I'm here now.
So the journey is from here to here.
It takes
That's what
away
it says,
also
huh?
the negative thoughts.
Yeah, of course. Because you think, look, wow, I can look at you. I can actually look at you, and I can look at all the
I do
little
that in the
bits of
morning.
you.
So I've been going through menopause, and I've had a terrible time. And I've been told, when you wake up with that angst, which is how I wake up a lot. I'm not now, but I have done. Choose 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can hear, 3 things that you can touch, 2 things that you can smell, 1 thing that you can taste.
Yeah.
And I do that, and it goes.
We use that for panic attacks also.
That's our number one tool.
That's your number 1 tool.
One in our workshop.
Well, it's one that we
apart
recommend,
from
yeah.
changing my HRT, which I think chemically my body did need.
Okay.
But yeah, I do
At the
that.
end of the day, I mean, like, we
sometimes.
give you tools, but you have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
I
Do
mean,
that,
we
and
give
I
you all
do-
these things, but we have
Yeah.
to find what's
Yeah,
helping you day to
because
day.
I find that, like you've been saying, Dav, you start spiraling, you're walking from A to B and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to do this, and if I don't do that, that's going to happen. No, this is going to happen after that. And you just spiral out
What
of
ifs?
control.
It's called the what ifs.
No, yo no hago what ifs, ya, yo no hago forecasting. I dealt with that. I managed to do my CBT, the automatic response. I can do it automatically, yeah. It's just everything.
Thing is that your nervous system needs to catch up with what you know. I mean, like, and you cannot teach your nervous system with words. It's stillness, quiet, connecting your parasympathetic is more an inner work than you. Like I say, affirmations and things that are good for a certain amount of time for maybe helping you to move away from something. But once you're in there, you need something deeper, no? And like I said, I can do yoga. When I go to all these retreats, like, it helped me, but to where I wanted to go, I never did. So that's why Vipassana is what I did. It was a 10-day retreat. It was a silent retreat. You couldn't speak really. You couldn't write. You couldn't read. You couldn't use your phone. And it was 10 hours of meditation daily, and you had to wake up at 4 a.m. every day.
Was that when you did your Buddhism?
Yeah, in Madrid. Yeah,
You told
and
me
that
about
for me, that the experience I had there, it was
Mind blowing.
beyond words. I mean, it's I realized that all that we're looking for and all the love and peace and joy that we are striving, you can say, because you don't have to strive, it's who you are. I mean, so once you can fall into that already exists in yourself, that's where your peace is, no? Like I say, when you feel love, what you feel, you're feeling how you feel anger. So all these emotions that reside within ourselves already live in ourselves. Like if you buy a car, you want to feel good, but you feel good because it exists inside of you. So if you can be able to quiet your mind, still your mind to a certain degree, that emotion that you want to feel emits naturally. So you don't have to do anything anymore. And that's connecting with your breath, all about stilling your mind. It's like there's no more doing. Like you say the word human. We're not human doings, we're human beings. So the more you can be, that's where everything exists.
Where are you going with your truly conscious? Because we could be here all day.
There we could, yeah. But really, like,
what is your not ultimate goal, but
like I said, we want to firstly do something as much as we can here. I want to go back to all fire brigade, the prison, all the places I've worked. You say to at least raise awareness, give back. But I know that eventually our time will be over here, where we'll have to move to something else. But we won't be far. I mean, like, I want to make it close to Gibraltar to connect. But I want to create. We already are creating it. I mean, it's a matter of time. We want to have a retreat center, a wellness center. And we want to invite people over, corporate, schools,
we'll come.
teams, and
Both of
Individuals.
us.
Lena will be able to step up into.
I would definitely something I would do, and maybe we should do it together.
We actually have a long list of people who want to
We'll add us to the list.
to come and just that want to join in and do the retreats.
But it's
that
finding, I suppose,
idea,
a place to do it. No?
Yeah, we're now
so we're
moving
looking
into
for
something.
land,
It's already there, but I think it's just transitioning into something. I don't know. To be honest, we are just flowing at the moment. We're enjoying what we're doing at the moment. No, Lena's here in the cafeteria. I'm in the wellness center, and I think that personally, it's what I've wanted. To be in this wellness. I wanted to open my own wellness center in Gibraltar, but of course, financially.
You're doing it for
and
somebody else.
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah, but
learning.
that's okay, 'cause
I'm
you're learning.
I don't care about doing it for
Yeah,
anything else.
yeah.
I just want to reach people. I want to
Yeah.
serve people, and I want to reach and help as many people as I can. It doesn't matter if it's yours, mine, or I don't care. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I just want to help, and I think, to be honest, we were meant to go to Portugal. Our aim was to leave Gibraltar, but something didn't allow us because I think we
Yeah.
needed it to a certain extent.
I think you need it here.
Yeah.
See.
I think there's a need for people like you
Yeah.
here. For definitely.
Yeah.
The piece that this, I mean, the whole vibe of this cafeteria is wonderful anyway.
Yeah.
But you guys are you just emit some. I arrived like stressed because lots of things, life, and it's just sitting here
Yeah.
with you. You feel much more chill. So you've got to, I think, help people here.
Yeah, that's, I mean, from through my eyes, obviously, because we also have different goals as a business, and also through my eyes, I really want to open something nearby, some land that we can do a wellness center for people to come and stay with us, that we can fully just give ourselves. We have the animals, and they can experience everything, and they can stay if they need somewhere to really help them, to heal. So, and that they can come, because there's so much healing you can do in a place like this than compared to a place in nature.
You have to go out, you have to strengthen yourself. You can do it here, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. It's harder work, but knowing if you can spend time alone without the external things that we get exposed to daily in Gibraltar, and it's not just families and people, it's like electrical stuff, like the EMF that's around us daily, being bombarded, the news. If you can get out from that and be out in nature and be without any distractions, and be with yourself, and you realize just how much energy you spend just even talking. Even talking, how much you're wasting energy, And if you can return all that energy within yourself, at least for a while, so that you know that the energy is going to your inner healing, And you realize that, of course, you can come back, but you're recharged. And then, and then you can maybe cope with it with more, it is hard. People are going through big transitions. I don't know if you believe in spiritual awakening, but people are awakening from things that are happening in the world. They're awakening to find out who they really are. And we're all in a big transition. We're all finding all these things.
It's such a comfort for people, for me, for us, to know that you guys exist, honestly. I feel it like that.
Okay,
It's a comfort because I think people are a bit out on a limb and they don't realize that all you guys, there are people in the world who can help you.
Yeah.
And therapies, and this is why I wanted to do this. When we spoke, back in February about this.
Yeah.
It's taken us till May to do it, but we got there because it's so important to get the message out. So I know we could be here for another hour. Do you want to say anything else, Dad, before we go?
I just want to say one last thing,
Yes.
that I realize that many people are being mistreated or misdiagnosed with certain labels, say, depression and stuff like that, and it's just like something very big known in the world that doesn't get spoken about here in Gibraltar. It's called spiritual awakening. So people are going through a transition in their life, and they label it with depression or anxiety, but it is just symptoms of this process that you need to go through to find who you really are, And it's not easy, because all that you've suppressed for many years comes up. But I do tell you that after it is beautiful. It doesn't finish. We're not finished. We are growing every time,
I'm
and
not
we're
done.
facing
I'm
things.
only 25. I've still got a dip left.
But
in me.
I think that people should step in and look into the symptoms that you're going through and have an alternative view to it, and know that there's something bigger happening behind that is pushing you to have the experiences that you're having, and it's not just está pasando porque por algo, it is happening from something, but just be open. Don't close yourself to the medical and pharmaceutical and medicine, there's another world up there, we call it alternative therapy, but why is it alternative when this medicine that we
standard.
do? Okay, so this existed before the pharmaceutical.
Sí, pero it should be standard.
Yeah, it should be the norm. It's before it came. This alternative therapy came before the pharmaceutical. Having plants, having herbal things. If you see when you're in winter, what vegetables do we have in summer, what other vegetables, they're all made, watermelons en verano, ¿por qué? Porque tiene el azúcar que necesitamos, en invierno esta planta, ¿por qué? Porque when we have colds, this plant is for this thing that you, for colds, I mean, everything is made, the body's made for the different, I'm going to say, weathers, no? Or Seasons, sorry, for different seasons, so... you have to die. For me, I'm open to all this and I can speak about it all day. Pero...
Yo lo que hago struggling con todo esto is what I said before. It's the freedom that for me you both have to access all of that, because I am totally into all of it, but I don't have the freedom to do it. Because my life is not my life.
You have to start small. You have to start small. Don't see yourself, don't be very anxious or hard on yourself to start an end goal. Or you can start with a book.
Es que ni eso.
Or a podcast.
Es que ni eso, porque I cannot, my mind is so...
Que no te deja ni concentrar.
Nada.
Oh no, but you need to book yourself a session with Truly Conscious.
I mean,
That's
for
what
me,
you need to do.
it took me, even though I'm young, it took me years.
Yeah.
No, but
took me the
I've been like
majority of
this
my
since I was
life.
17.
I know.
But
It's just the thing is,
you don't wanna reach.
This is not recent.
as a new generation, we also have more tools.
Yeah.
As young people, we also have more tools that are more aware for us. You guys back then didn't have as many tools, or at least as awareness as much.
I do tell you
don't
one
know.
thing. If you don't find time,
I had the tools.
if you don't find
But I
time,
don't
the universe will find time for you, and you don't want it to reach that place.
Eso es lo que pasa.
That's what I perceive. That
That's
you
the
don't want to get
problem.
to a point where you have no choice but stepping into
Usually,
this path.
sometimes
and that's
that
maybe
is
that's
how
it
it
probably
is.
has to reach that, and that's why
Yeah.
I used to get bed. I had to get bed bound to actually listen.
Yeah, because
And-
sometimes it has to be like that.
It doesn't have to be like that.
No,
'cause we're
sometimes
here
it
warning you.
happens.
I mean, but
No,
maybe
you don't
just-
have to. I am
so
very
you-
aware of it.
Or you for yourself, maybe you
But
have to
again,
reach that.
I believe that, at least the way that I see it, is the way you guys are coming from is a completely different to a lot of us, porque ya we are already in situations and our lives are not just our own.
Of course not. No.
¿Comprendes?
No,
So
you have
it's
other people
it's
to
not,
put in bother.
no, it's tan fácil, you know, por mí,
Yeah.
No,
I would have done 100 million things. I would have
Yeah.
left my job. Me hubiera hecho el holistic therapy that I want to train in.
I mean,
Pero-
there's a
you can
transition.
still do it.
There's
Yeah,
a process.
yeah.
Oh, I am,
Good.
Yeah.
pero
You have to
don't
build
always-
the bridge. Poquito a poco.
I tell you something honestly. I mean, I know I don't have children, but in my own experience, you know, I've been responsible for animals since at least I was 12, owning them. I haven't gone on vacation. I haven't been able to do the things I would love to do. I've not been able to quit my jobs because I've always had a responsibility of paying every month, almost $1,000 a month on animals, and I can't leave them behind. And for me, you know, even though I'm a therapist and I help people, I still have those days that I'm like, what in hell am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I here? And I
bother?
stress.
I bother.
I
That's
stress
called
and
my
I
podcast.
can
Another
get it.
one.
I do get anxiety. The only thing with me is because I've practiced and practiced, because everything that's happened to me, I kind of clicked with it. It comes quicker. It's just building. It's like going to the gym. And at the beginning, you're doing a kilo weight. At the end, you're doing 50 kilos because you can cope with it. And it's just building that, you know, and no one is, you can't say, you know, if people look at us, oh, you're perfect, you do this and that, but it's not. No one is. No one, even us, we have days where like,
Yeah, like
no,
everybody.
you
else.
can't
Of
even,
course.
sometimes I don't want to get out of
normal.
bed, but I accept, the difference is that, okay, I accept I don't want to get out of bed. You know what? I'm just going to stay in bed.
Yeah.
I have to do the things I have to do. I have to take care of my animals. I have to clean the house. I gotta do the dishes. Gotta clean the clothes. Gotta make sure I go to work. I gotta make sure. But I know that I have to take it quietly and easily as possible because I know that I'm struggling. And this is a thing that many people don't see. That you wake up and you're like, I don't want to get up. I don't want to take care of my kids. I don't want to clean the clothes. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I'm tired. I just want to sit here and do nothing. That's okay. That's okay. That's great. But obviously we have to, because we're responsible people. It's what we've chosen at this lifetime in this moment. What we have to do it is do it with as quietness and easiness and as unreactive as possible.
Loving to it as well.
And just doing it as you're doing a jigsaw puzzle very slowly. And then when you have your chance to just take a few minutes to just close your eyes or view something, to just switch off. Because we live in a society, we live with people that we're always on the go, always doing something, and people are creative and we want to do so many things because we can. We are creative beings. We can do whatever and create whatever we want. But we just have to take time for ourselves and understand ourselves and give ourselves a moment that even if you wake up in the morning and you just don't want to see the day of light, you just have to say, okay, I accept that I feel like this. It's okay to feel like this. I'm just going to take one step at a time, do everything I need to do, no matter who's screaming at me, no matter who's telling me to do this or that. You know what? I'll just do it at my own pace and my own time.
Well, with that, I think we need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
We've been going for nearly an hour.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No,
Honestly,
thank
both
you.
of you for your
Oh, wow.
time.
Oh yeah, we've got dog
And
class now.
thank you, Lena, because I know that you're not
We
you
have
don't
a-
like speaking that
we
much.
just
No,
but
I was a bit
I
nervous, to be
appreciate,
honest. Especially I know that my family, you know, when they hear me talk, it's something that is, I know it. They've
suffered
lived,
too.
they've suffered a lot,
they have.
their own lives, and also
they
seeing
have.
me. I'm the youngest, so.
yeah. Well,
And I've never also expressed myself to this extent, so I'm grateful that you guys have held space for me.
we're
Okay,
grateful
well,
that you've done it with us.
I have to say that
Because no one
you.
has heard. It's like you. I have people, my clients and my people that I express, and they know my story and they know my life, but. For more than that, no one knows. That's why everyone's like, "Oh, you're Julie Conte." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here." But yeah, but
Thank you.
it's, I'm
I
grateful.
do have to mention Ibex Insurance because they sponsor our show.
Great.
And I just wanted to say, put it out there, anybody listening who needs insurance, if you're going on holiday, if you've got pets,
They do dog insurance, yeah.
they do dog insurance.
Yeah, they do.
Exactly.
It's a good price.
Yeah, so there you are. You see? Yeah, we want to mention Ibex and thank you all,
No,
both
thank
of you
you.
so
Thank you
much.
for having us today.
Good
I
to
really
a
enjoyed
pleasure.
it.
what does it today? You must feel like totally triumphant.
What I am feeling is exhausted.
Bueno, pero
Yeah.
eso es normal.
So I'm going to hit
That's
the button.
from just talking.
Pero still,
Exactly.
if you've never done that before and you've done it here and you've done it, para mí, lo que he visto, quite comfortably.
See, yeah.
She's on a sofa, on a
Okay,
red
pero-
sofa.
I'm in
bien.
this is my home as well,
She's
you
in
know.
her
I'm,
home.
Sí,
I've
pero
been
you
here.
can, you can be wherever
Yeah.
you want. See, if you can't find yourself to do something, you won't be able to do it, and
Yeah.
you've done it.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I
Good.
mean,
We're very,
Good, very good.
proud.
Moving.
proud. Very
Well, thank you very much.
proud.
Okay, well,
Thank you for
thanks.
coming.
Bye.